record holder, a live liver donor, and an entrepreneur. All this at the age of 26. Meet Ankita Srivastav. She donated 74% of her liver to her mother at the age of 20, a procedure that confined her to bed for several months, but she bounced back to life with renewed passion and vigor. Thanks a lot for joining us, Ankita.
Thank you so much.
So tell us about this journey that you donated 74% of your liver to your mother. So how challenging was it for you?
So basically, the liver transplant procedure doesn't have too much on Google, and kidney transplant is a more renowned procedure. So I was told that everything will be okay and nothing happens to the donor and everything is fine, don't worry. So we had a very split 30-second discussion with my father where he said that you have to give your liver, and I said okay. And there were sets of 34 procedures, I think, tests, so that I could qualify for the donation. That also happened, and I was taken also to the operation. That was also fine. But when I woke up, it was a whole different story, and I had wires all across my body, and I couldn't move, lift, stand, nothing, absolutely nothing. And when I called the nurse so that she could lift me up, I realized that she couldn't hear me also. So I had lost my voice as well. So it was a very devastating fact to realize that something this severe has happened, but that I realized post the transplant.
Yeah. So what were the stuff that you had to face right after that? For 2 months you couldn't even get up. So how did it change your life entirely?
It did. As a matter of fact, yes, I couldn't walk, sit, stand. Everything was difficult. When I would turn, the liver would also turn. So it was difficult, but my mother was in a more severe condition. So obviously that had a lot of hope, and that kept me going. And I knew that somebody else is struggling way more than I am. So it was never a concern. But eventually my mother couldn't make it. And then I realized that I have to focus on myself, because I had deteriorated over that time frame, because I was concentrating post my transplant also on her, right? So post that, another year to recover, and that was the struggling phase, but I think it's all for good.
Yeah, so as we see that people across the country do not have so much knowledge about liver transplant, and you were very young at the age of 20. So, of course, also you did not know much about it. So, weren't you anxious about making such a decision? Like, did you have second thoughts about it?
No, not really. No second thoughts. Everybody around me had second thoughts about the decision, but I was pretty sure that I'm doing it. And I had this simple logic in my mind that she gave birth to me, and she went through a lot of pain. And the cirrhosis that she had liver cirrhosis, that also happened through blood transfusion of a person who had hepatitis B. So when I was born, her hemoglobin was very low, and the person's blood which was transfused in her body, he had hepatitis B. So for no mistake of hers, she was suffering, and she suffered a lot to bring me also to life, obviously. So this was little that I could do.
Yeah. So, as we know that you have a lot of records also to your name, and you are an inspiration to a lot of people. So, tell us more about that. What are these records, and what led you to achieve all these?
So I am a world record holder in long jump and ball throw, and there are world transplant games that happen every alternate year, and 59 countries participated in it this year, and it happened in Newcastle. I participated in 4 events, out of which I got medals in 3. I was the youngest to represent the country, and the only one to win 2 golds. So I won 2 golds and 1 silver. And how this happened was basically I was going through a recovery phase, and post these from 2014 to 2018, I had reached a certain level of better health because of lot of hard work from my side. And we came to know about the World Transplant Games. I got qualified, and I practiced for it like anything. I did everything I could with everything going on, and that's how it worked.
So, what kind of role has sports really played in your life? Like, what was your journey like throughout your life when it comes to something like sports?
I think it's very important because one, it closes your senses for those flick seconds when you are in your sport or you are in the gym or whatever you're doing, those few seconds, minutes, hours, you're not thinking about anything else. And that's very important because otherwise you're so stressed with things going on. So it is very important for me. Otherwise, I will go crazy, I know. So I have this 2.5 hours every day, which I dedicate to my sports or gym or whatever. But that's some time I invest so that I'm sane for the rest of the 20 hours.
So as we know that you are a young entrepreneur as well, so tell us about that life a little bit.
Yes, so post the transplant, I did my internship in Wipro, Delhi. And then I met two wonderful people who became my new parents. And they have a family business which I joined in. And we do printing, we are Disney approved printers. We do publishing and we were licensees for Barbie, Ben 10. And we have our own intellectual property. Like Mickey Mouse, we have Purple Turtle. So we do export books to 27 countries. And now we have animated content. So we do around 700 minutes of content on 10,000 smart devices. So Sony, Samsung, Apple, everything has our content. We also do franchising. So I have Purple Turtle preschools. So we have 14 preschools in India and one in Nepal. So now we are working on a co-production which is in between India, Ireland and France. So the biggest distributor in the world for kids category is Cyber Group Studios. So he's become our distributor. So I'm presently working on that animation series, the first season. So my aim at this moment is to bring that on TV.
Okay, so going back to your journey of the liver transplant, you had to face a lot. You said you almost lost your voice. So would you rather recommend it to any person to go for liver transplant?
Yes and no, both. So if it's somebody you know and you think they have scope of living, so I think a very simple analysis that we've been able to make, and I've been told by the doctors also who are close to me, that a person who goes into the recipient who goes into the transplant phase will eventually come out also in the same state. For example, my mother was in coma. So when she came out also, she couldn't be as strong as anybody else. Had we done the transplant before and she would have been walking, she would have come out also as fit and fine. And the chances of receptiveness of that liver would have been more. So it's a beautiful concept and I love it. I would have done it again if I could. And it made me realize so many things that nothing else can. Believe me, nobody gets this opportunity to go healthy inside a hospital, wear that gown and then come out sick. Okay, it's usually the opposite way. So I did that and it made me realize so many things about life also and about the challenges and how beautiful every moment is. So it was a beautiful experience.
But did you ever feel that you might never recover from that?
No, not really. No.
Inside your mind ever?
No, not really. When I woke up, I was too scared. That's true. I was scared that maybe something has happened wrong during the operation, or maybe there's something wrong with me because it can't be so serious. But I think that's how the procedure is. The procedure is the most complicated and it involves a live donation, not like brain and heart. So yes, it is very challenging. It is difficult. But I think it has beautiful results because I saw my mother live for a little longer and that's more precious than anything, I think.
So what kind of message do you want to give to all the young people that you at such a young age took that decision and you recovered from it? So what kind of message do you really want to give?
Lot of messages from my story. One, that you have to say yes to things that come in your life. And it might seem impossible and you have choices. Either you say no and there's no experience at all. And either you say yes and there's a bad experience or a good experience, but there is an experience. So it's worth it. Second, that whatever I've done post it or before it, there's a personality hidden behind it, that I work very hard. I'm very disciplined. I take too many precautions that normal people won't do. So there's a certain level of discipline and hard work that you have to put in to achieve anything. That's true with everything. So I think a lot of youth of ours is a little distracted, so they have to concentrate. And anybody who thinks it happens just like this and this is it, so it doesn't. It takes lot of hard work, and I have sleepless nights, and I also fall down, and I also have my negative talks. But you have to rise and be your self motivator.
So, what is the journey ahead? What is the aim ahead?
So aim ahead one is with Purple Turtle. It's very close to my heart now, and I plan on seeing it on TV. And then we have the games in Houston in 2021. So that's one of the aim. Third is that because people understand organ donation a little bit more. So I'm not saying they understand live organ donation, but at least I can encourage people and inspire them to do something like this, because anybody I know has a story linked where there's a transplant going on or somebody is suffering. So maybe we can help them out. So that's the plan.
All the best to you, all our best wishes to you, and we hope that you succeed in life ahead. Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us.